Oh, hey guys, it's Alicia here with Keller Williams South Tampa, coming at you with a video. So Millennial Monday obviously has been done for a while. I'm thinking about calling these more sporadic videos, vital information for your real estate life. You get it? Like Lori Beth Denberg, all that. If you don't get it, you weren't a 90s kid. Anyway, today I want to talk to you guys about something that is a more somber topic, very relevant, and I want to expand on a topic I've tried to discuss briefly before. So today we're going to talk about what the implications, the real estate implications are of the tragedy in Surfside in Miami. I'm sure you guys have heard about that condo collapse. So if anyone watching this has been personally affected by that tragedy, I literally don't have the words to say my heart goes out to you. Nobody could have seen this coming. And, in terms of how this impacts real estate, this really is going to be a game changer, not just in Miami and not even just in Florida, but maybe, hopefully on a national scale, we're able to kind of take a look at this and see what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right. Obviously, it's going to take a while for them to figure out what happened and what caused this, but I do want to talk to you guys about the real estate end and some of the realities of condo ownership. So if you haven't seen, I've already made a video on condo ownership, should you buy a condo? So if you haven't checked that video out, check it out. It's overview, pretty broad, like all these short videos are. And what I'm going to talk about today is the ownership type and what the implications are for you as the owner. So if you go back to that video, I'll break it down a little more in depth, but basically when you buy a condo, you don't really own land. You are a condo owner, which is essentially like an apartment owner, but you don't really own anything except for that airspace in your little cube, right? You basically, the cooperative owns that building and you are at their mercy in every way, shape, and form. So what are the implications of that? One of my least favorite things about HOAs in general is, first of all, I don't like when people tell me how to live my life. Like, don't tell me how to live my life. I pay my bills, take care of myself. So, aside from the nuisance of having someone in your business all the time, which I think is just, I wouldn't want to deal with it. Condo HOAs are especially particular and potentially problematic because they are like a self-governed little entity. And there's not any government oversight of condo associations, which doesn't sound like a horrible thing until something like this happens. There are documents that you're going to have access to anyway, documents that I'm going to provide for you or your realtor is going to provide for you, and it's up to you to independently review them. Now, if you're a first-time home buyer, nothing really makes sense. And I pride myself on educating my buyers, but there are some things that I can't get too far into because then it becomes more of like an attorney's role and I don't want to give you any bad information. So when you go to buy a condo, really, you're going to be analyzing those documents independently and you kind of have to make sense of it. And what I can do is help you interpret them, but it's not going to be, I'm not going to be able to give you all the answers. And in the condo associations, unfortunately, they are not the most communicative. So that being said, they're independently managed. So even though the government requires that they have certain bylaws and like their health statements and all, or not their health, their financial statements and all this, it's not overseen by the government. These are independently run condo associations. And so who runs the association? The associations are run by elected members of a committee. So I don't know a whole lot about this. I'll defer to someone else who knows a lot more. I will just say that there are a select handful of people who are making decisions on behalf of the entire building. So why is this really important? Well, imagine you go to buy a single family residential home detached, right? And when you go to buy it, you know that your roof is going to need to be replaced in the next 10 years. So you, as a responsible homeowner, can start saving the money to replace the roof because you understand that it's coming. Or anything really. As a homeowner, you should be setting money aside every month because anything can happen with your house. These houses are full of surprises. But it's on you at the end of the day, right? Like, it's your responsibility. Nobody is going to do that for you. In the case where you don't have the HOA, that gets more muddied when you talk about townhomes and villas, blah, blah. We're talking about standalone home, right? So if you fail to prepare and you financially cannot carry the burden of your mortgage plus all the repairs, what happens? You probably fall behind on your payments, go into foreclosure, and that's you, right? When you own a condo, you don't really get to say where your money goes, right? So like, I've got a few points here. So basically, your HOA could or could not include the cost of deferred maintenance, right? This will all be broken down in the condo financial statements, or should be. But, obviously you've got your amenities, your pool, whatever, tennis court, but the deferred maintenance really should be included in that HOA. I mean, any responsible committee you understand that things just happen. Like, you're going to need new air conditioners, you're going to need new windows. It happens. Time happens, right? So a good HOA committee or a good condo HOA should really have at least 25% of your HOA payment should be going towards the deferred maintenance or expected repairs that are coming down the pike, right? So that's often not the case, which is very sad. What happens in that case? So what happens when the people who are making those decisions for you, because again, you're not the homeowner who makes all those decisions, they make it for you. What happens when they don't have the money? Then you guys get into a situation like what had been happening with that condo association and the residents, which is that you need essentially at that point to have a special assessment levied on you as an individual. So this is in addition to your taxes, your HOA, your mortgage payment, all this, another special assessment. So that's in the case of the people in Surfside and the condo that collapsed, they got a bill. They were told that they had to spend $15 million on structural repairs. That is a lot of money. I mean, and that's in addition to everything you're already paying. So this was I imagine this is a huge deal across the board, and it's just one that people don't really talk about. So in terms of the special assessment, you're kind of, again, you're like at their mercy. So this is difficult. You need to do what's right, but at the same time, you're wondering, where did my money go? Like, I gave you this money, right? Like when you pay your taxes and then the programs that you need are underfunded, you're like, what the hell, guys? I gave you this money, right? So let's say you want to, in the case of you owning your house, being a standalone homeowner, you can choose to, or not choose, but you can go into foreclosure, and that's the end game for you, or you can sell, whatever. If you were in a condo and let's just say it starts, these conversations start happening and the committee decides, all right, guys, we need $100,000 from each condo owner in this building in order to make X, Y, or Z repair. And let's just say that it's as imperative as the structural repairs that they asked for in Surfside. Well, that's a really tough pill to swallow, isn't it? You weren't counting on having to set an extra $100,000 aside because you were expecting your HOA to have done their job and manage those funds. But that didn't happen. So you have a special assessment. So what do? You're going to sell? So if you go to sell, I'm unclear as to what needs to be disclosed. I don't know if it's speculative. You might not have to disclose it, but if it's already been approved, I think you do have to disclose it. The special assessments that are coming due, you're going to have a tough time selling that condo because the condo is going to be whatever the purchase price is plus that $100,000. So anyway, there are a lot of resale implications and lack of true autonomy as an owner. There are a lot of reasons why I detest condos. I really don't like them. But if you want to live in an area where it's really your best, if not only, method of owning property, like maybe you want to be on the beach, downtown, what have you, cool. I'm more than happy to walk you through the paperwork, but I am a huge fan of transparency. So that being said, this is pretty high level, I would say. This isn't like super zoomed in. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you've got any other topics that you want me to go over, let me know. I just figured this would be useful info for you guys. So as always, stay happy, healthy, blessed, productive, and have a great day.